when and how to use genetic genealogy. We're taking a look at the new interim policy from the Department of Justice. Legal marijuana use is on the rise, and this device could be the first step in field testing for a DUI. Plus, how you can submit your abstract and present your work at the 9th Annual Forensic Science Symposium. This is your Forensic Update. Before we begin, we are always publishing new forensic science content, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Hello, and welcome to the Forensic Update. The Department of Justice announced a new interim policy on forensic genetic genealogical DNA analysis and searching at the ISHE conference late last month. The policy applies to criminal investigations in these categories: under the jurisdiction of the DOJ, where the DOJ supplies agency funding to conduct genetic genealogical searches, where DOJ employees or contractors investigate leads based on these types of searches, or from any federal, state, local, or tribal agency that receives grant funding from the DOJ for the searches. The 8-page interim policy lays out criteria and procedures. To walk us through these, we sat down with Gerry LaPorte, who worked on the department's task force that set up this policy.
One of the things that is kind of critical to understand is that, so first of all, this is an interim policy, which means that it may or may not be changed slightly or substantively in the future. What this interim policy really is intended to be is just a best practice or a standard or an optimized procedure at this point in time for forensic genetic genealogy. The policy is really intended as some guidance or as guidance to help ensure that forensic labs, investigators, prosecutors are all working together and they're collaborating with each other, making sure that everybody understands the amount of sample that's remaining, the potential impacts if that sample is completely used up. But like I had mentioned earlier, it really is about the collaboration part. The policy was created really for 3 reasons. One of the key reasons, though, that it was created was to ensure that when forensic genetic genealogy was going to be used in a case, that there'd be collaboration between forensic laboratories, the investigators, and the prosecutors. So that's all very critical. One of the other reasons was to help ensure that when this investigative technique was being used, that it was being used in accordance to applicable laws. Just wanted to make sure that everybody was kind of staying within the guideposts of what they were allowed to do. And then also the third thing was to help balance out any privacy and civil liberty concerns. Just wanted to ensure that that investigators, prosecutors weren't breaking any laws with respects to privacy and civil liberties. But it's primarily for unsolved violent crime cases and in unidentified remains from a suspected homicide victim, or in cases where there's a substantial ongoing threat to the public safety or national security. The policy constantly references the idea that this is an investigative lead, and that's exactly what it is. So once a possible association, and I can't emphasize the word possible more, but once a possible association is made, then that's really only the starting point.
It's important to note, as the interim policy lays out, information and data that results from the genetic genealogical searches cannot be uploaded, searched, or retained in CODIS. We put a link to the full document on our website. If you're drinking and driving, there's a blood alcohol content level that can be measured against a set legal standard. However, it's a lot more complicated for marijuana. Because of the way the drug is metabolized in the body, there's a debate in states that have legalized cannabis on what amount of THC constitutes a DUI. A team from the University of Pittsburgh developed a breathalyzer that can detect and measure the amount of THC in a user's breath. The instrument uses nanotechnology sensors that can detect THC levels similar to mass spectrometry. While more research still needs to be conducted, the team says this is an important first step in the creation of a standardized legal measurement for law enforcement agencies. National may be in our name, but we understand the critical importance of quality forensic science on the global scale. Last October, we celebrated the first achievement of an international accreditation for a forensic lab in Morocco. Our team assisted the team in preparing for the process with the country's only DNA databasing lab through a grant from the Department of State. This fall, through another grant awarded to NFSTC at FIU, the DNA and Question Documents Lab in Panama also earned accreditation. Dave Sylvester tells us successes like these aren't just about the paper certificate.
Laboratories are looking at international accreditation because it adds credibility to the forensic science work they do in their laboratories. In other words, their customers, such as a law enforcement agency, can benefit from that laboratory being accredited because they can now look at the lab and say their analysis is accurate and they do things in a quality manner. That's what international accreditation is all about. It has 100 and some standards that a lab has to comply with to prove that they do things in a quality manner and they do things accurately.
The accrediting body, ANSI National Accreditation Board, says these standards show laboratories can produce precise and accurate test results, which adds credibility when those tests are used in a court of law. You can be a part of our very first digital forensics online course for professionals. The deadline to register is October 28th. The 40-hour course covers the fundamentals of forensic science, laws, and regulation relating to digital data, and an introduction to forensic software. This is the first of 4 courses that make up the university's new digital forensics professional program introducing police, tools, and laws to working investigators. You don't have to be an FIU student to attend, and registration and future course topics are now available on the FIU website. There's still time to register to attend the 10th Anniversary NICE Conference and Expo hosted by FIU, New America, and Arizona State University. More than 600 people are expected to attend the cybersecurity event in Phoenix November 18th through the 20th. The call for abstracts is now open for the 9th Annual Forensic Science Symposium. Workshops and presentations focused on laboratory-centered issues are welcome, as are topics from the broad criminal justice system. Sponsorship opportunities are also available. We've made it easy to find more information on any story featured right here on our As Seen on the Forensic Update page. From all of us here at NFSTC at FIU, I'm Bill Duffin, and thanks for watching.